What's going on, guys? Welcome along to another video. We are back up at Riders in Bridgewater. Now, the other day I was over the Ducati side, and today I'm over this side. Now, they used to house Harleys here. This is where I used to do my Harley demos from. But for 2025 they changed over from Harley to Indian. So here we are. So I'm taking out the Indian Scout Bobber for 2025. I've never been on an Indian. I've been on several Harleys. I've owned a Harley. So let's see what this Indian's made of. Looking at what's between our legs then, the Scout Bobber has 1250cc. We've got 105 of brake horsepower and 108 newton meters of torque. The Scout Bobber is your very kind of traditional cruiser. We've got forward mounted pegs, which I do like. They do take a bit of getting used to if you've never been on forward mounted pegs before. And then one thing to be mindful of is when you're going around corners, because these don't have a huge amount of ground clearance, is actually, I found it on the Harley, sometimes you catch your feet on the ground and it does pull it off. So you do need a little bit mindful. I'm 6'1", and on this seat there's not really much room to move around, but the handlebars do feel at a stretch. So I don't know how a shorter rider would fare, whether they'd have to be leaning forward. But where I want to naturally sit, the handlebars are, I'd say, a little bit too far forward. Now, I've no doubt that you can get some bar risers or you can get some different size handlebars, but I would definitely like to bring them back just a little bit more than where they are. Now, as new bikes go, I'd say this is fairly reasonably priced at £13,200, but that is going to be the base trim. There are 3 levels of trim. And before I cover the trims and what they've got, the main point I'm going to put right now is this is the middle trim, and it has cruise control. And here you go, I'm at 20 miles an hour and I'm just sat poodling along. Nice to see on a cruiser style bike. It's not something that you often get. I mean, it's not the most comfortable position. Like I said, the handlebars are a bit too far and I'm straining my back already. So looking at the different trims then, you've got the standard trim, like I said, that's £13,200. It's pretty much going to be a very basic bike. So as I said, this is the next one up. So this is the limited trim. And this is kind of where it gives you the basics, I'd say, of what you'd want. So you more than likely probably go for this one. This is going to set you back just shy of £14,000. Now, the extras you get, obviously cruise control, you get traction control, you get 3 different rider modes, sport, standard and rain. And then to activate them, on the right hand trigger finger, you just pull through and then you can select what one you want. And also you get a USB charger. I'm not quite sure where that's located. Now, if that's not enough and you want to go a little bit more, for reference as well, sorry, standard and limited trim, you get this, your kind of typical speedo gauge. Now, for the third trim, it's limited plus tech. So obviously you get everything from the limited, but then you get extra. By that, you get a digital touchscreen. I think it's like a 4-inch screen. So not only have you got a fancy screen, that's also got navigation. So you get the ride control app that allows you to have navigation with that. I think there's 6 different screens that you can choose from, and then also there's two gauges that you can pick as well. So you've definitely got a bit more customizable flexibility with that. And also with the limited and the limited tech, there is a few different color options that you can pick from. So I'm currently in sport mode. I mean, it's definitely got some pick up and go, this. It is not a slow bike, that's for sure. That's got the biggest of numbers, but at the end of the day, what does it matter? If the bike feels fast and it picks up and it makes you smile inside the helmet, numbers mean nothing. Handling wise, can't remember, I got the 360 down there. It actually handles really nicely. It's not necessarily the quickest handling, but it's very predictable. Like, you just know where it's going to go. At the minute, I've got new tyres on my GSA, and the tyres on that are unpredictable. I feel like I'm forcing it into a corner and then it drops. Now, we do have a solo seat on this, and it is quite small, and it's got quite a an abrupt position to it. I'll show you what I mean when we pull over and have a little walk around. But where it's not that big, I haven't got much room to move around. I'm in it. It's the one position, and it's something I found on my Harley Davidson Fat Bob. The seat was uncomfortable because of that position. Like, I find the rear of the seat hits your bum, and it causes quite a lot of pressure points on it. We do have nice bar end mounted mirrors on this. I believe you can flip them over if you want them upside down. I've found in the past though, when they're upside down, my arms are in the way and I'm having to do the old chicken dance to see behind me. So I much prefer having the mirrors above my hands. Nice and clear, even though the bike has got a nice bit of vibration to it. The mirrors are not vibey, and I'm not saying the bike has bad vibrations. I'm saying it's got a nice amount. It lets you know that you're on a good bike. A nice little rumble to it. Yes. The handlebars are pretty minimalist. You know, we've got our lights, our indicators, our horn, and our cruise control on the left, and a kill switch, and the old screen flicker through button, and mode button on the right hand side. And that's it. If you get the Limited Plus Tech, the left hand switch gear does get a little bit more buttons, but obviously it's so you can navigate through the screen, so you don't have to touch it whilst riding. Sport mode, the throttle response is so nice and smooth. There's no jerkiness on that 10% pickup, it just starts progressing. What's nice to see on the gauge, we've got a fuel indicator, so we're on 2 bars at the minute out of 6, but we've also got a range indicator as well. Like, the screen's not big, but they've managed to get enough information on it that keeps me happy. You know, cruise control, time, gear shifter, gear indicator. What's nice is it's got enough grunt that you can be in a bit higher gear and just pull through it and it will just get you there. Whereas some bikes, you need to change down gear. Although I am uncomfortable with this handlebar position, I'd just like to point out on my Fat Bob, I also got an achy back on that. Again, it's just that kind of riding position. I didn't have any risers or new handlebars on that, but if I was owning this long term, I would have to get something just to relieve some of the pressure on the back. Clutch lever is a little bit weighty, but the gear changes are nice and smooth. Like, there's a little bit of a clunk, but it's not bad. It just lets you know that you've changed gears. I mean, riding this in these type of twisty roads, they're not sharp twisty, but they're nice flowing. It handles beautifully. Laps it up. So the Scout Bobber does have a liquid cooled V-twin engine in it. It's pleasant. Now, just quickly, this bike is really low. It's got 665mm seat height, 6'1", remember, and I mean, I can stand up over the bike. No one should have a problem riding this. Now, we don't have the biggest fuel tank, we've got 13 litres, but that's alright. I think that's enough miles before I want to stop and jump off anyway. I mean, with its flickability, it doesn't feel heavy, but it has got a bit of a hefty weight tag to it of 246 kilos. But even when you're stationary, like, you can move this bike around, so you can stand over it and lift it up. It's got a very, very low centre of gravity, which does help with that weight. And the last thing I want to say is the brakes are actually pretty decent. And I say that because we've only got a single 298mm disc at the front, but also surprisingly a single 298mm at the rear, whereas normally on other bikes you'd have like a 310 or a 330 at the front dual, and then a single 250mm disc at the rear. And normally you can feel the difference between obviously the rear and the front, because there is a large difference between having 2 discs and one at the rear in different size. But where these are both the same size, these are probably some of the best rear brakes I've been on. Traction control is throwing his little lights up, and that's okay. Well, let's find somewhere to pull over and we'll have a walk around of the Indian Scout Bobber for 2025. Well, here we are then. Indian Scout Bobber in the nice black. There are some other colour trims. I like black. I do like the kind of classic side-mounted key slot. Oh, and actually, I've just seen that USB port I was on about that you get with the limited trim. Little flap there. And there is enough space on the handlebar to put your phone or your sat nav or whatever you need. Like I was saying, very basic switch gear. This is where the extra buttons will come for the touchscreen gauge. Looking at the front, I'm not going to say it's the prettiest front I've seen. We have got proper old school looking turn indicators. It's one of them. If you're happy with it, keep it. And if not, I'm sure you can probably switch them out. I've no doubt they're probably like Harley, where they've got so many different accessories that you can just really make these bikes your own. I did say obviously it's got the different level trims to it, and there's different kit that comes in those trims. I think Indian have done it so that even if you got the standard trim but you wanted certain bits like the touchscreen gauge, that it's all kind of modular, so the bike can handle it. You can just add it on as an accessory. I don't actually think I said the price for the limited plus tech trim. That's £14,800 if I didn't say it already. I just like all the extra kind of little features that they've put on it. This is the seat I was on about. This is that lip part that I said. I mean, look at the distance. That's what, like 7 inches for my big old derriere before this part's hitting the back of me bum. Very similar seat to the Fat Bob. I'm a big fan of these kind of side mounted plates. Just makes it a little bit different rather than having the plate at the back dead center. And it does have a big old beefy exhaust. It sounds okay, but like pretty much any bike nowadays, they're all choked by the Euro 5, Euro 6 emissions. So getting an exhaust on this would just liven up that little bit. Also, it's got a massive chunky front tyre to it. Well, that's pretty much everything on the Scout Bobber. I like the look of it, handles really nicely, lovely engine. For me, it's just the seat and the handlebars that are the kind of biggest drawbacks. But again, change them. I've absolutely no doubt that there will be accessories to be able to swap them out. So the drawbacks aren't really drawbacks because they can easily be changed. It's not like I don't like the engine or something to do with that. That would take a lot more money and time and potentially not be able to change it at all. Well guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. More important, subscribe to the channel. And if you do want to come and test out this Indian, then head on over to Riders in Bridgewater. And there's nothing else to say, but until the next one, ride safe.